Welcome to WNL Sports Weekly. I'm your host, Jeremy Franklin. This week, we'll speak with men's swimming coach Joel Shinofield, men's lacrosse coach Gene McCabe, and women's track and field captain Elizabeth Webb. But first, here's a look back at last weekend in Washington and Lee sports. The men's lacrosse team upended 6th-ranked Washington College 9-3 in Chestertown, Maryland, behind a career-high 5 goals from junior Will Keegler. With the win, the Generals jumped from 19th to 10th in the latest D3 poll. In Lexington, number 7 Washington and Lee fell 11-9 to 3rd-ranked Franklin and Marshall in women's lacrosse. The Generals overcame a 7-3 halftime deficit to take a 9-8 lead, but the Diplomats scored the final 3 goals of the game to collect the victory. The tennis teams each picked up a pair of 9-0 ODAC wins. The men defeated Randolph-Macon and Virginia Wesleyan, while the women knocked off Hollins and VWC. And in baseball, WNL was swept by Virginia Wesleyan in a conference doubleheader on Saturday, but came back to take 2 from visiting Westminster on Sunday. Coming up next, I'll be joined by men's swimming coach Joel Shinofield. With me now is men's swimming coach Joel Shinofield. Joel, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Appreciate being here.
Coach, your team will have 5 swimmers competing at the NCAA Division III Championships in Minnesota next week. Who are they and what events will they be swimming?
Well, we've got a couple of freshmen, Chris Washnock and Brian Sterling. Chris was invited in the 200 backstroke. He'll also swim the 400 IM and the 100 backstroke, and he'll be the leadoff on both of our medley relays. Brian Sterling is a butterflyer and a sprint freestyler. He'll swim the 100 butterfly and be on all 5 of our relays at NCAAs. We'll also have 2 juniors in Brandon Barnes, who's a sprint freestyler, swimming the 50 freestyle, 100 freestyle, and all 5 relays. Nick Telluri is also a junior, swimming the 50 freestyle, and he'll be swimming 3 of our relays, all of our freestyle relays, 200, 400, 800 free relays. And then we'll have 2 seniors. Brett Tapman is a relay alternate, so we'll actually have 6 people at the meet. And then Paul Crook has been invited in the 200 freestyle. He'll swim the 500 freestyle as well, and all 5 relays.
How do you measure team success at a national meet like this when you've got the best swimmers from across the country involved?
Well, I think what we're looking to do is improve upon our seeds, try to move up in the meet. Right now, I think we've got a lot of room to sort of move up and try to get into the top 20. I think would be a pretty good move for us. We graduated a lot last year, and we're in the top 10 for 2 years in a row, and I'd like not to fall too far as we rebuild, and I think we've done a good job with that. So I think if we can be in the top 20 and improve upon our seeds, we've had a successful national experience.
A successful regular season as well. Your team went 11-2 against a very tough schedule. How pleased were you with the way the Generals competed throughout the year?
I was very happy. Our guys did a great job week in and week out getting ready for meets, preparing for the season, and doing just a really excellent job all the way through. Once again, people thought that we would sort of have a down year given all that we graduated last year, and I think we surprised a lot of people with how well we did, and our freshmen were really, really good this year.
With that in mind, what does the future hold for Washington and Lee men's swimming?
I think we're going to have a great year next year. We've got tremendous freshmen, and we've got a great returning junior class that'll be seniors next year. They'll provide excellent leadership. We'll have 8 guys in that group, several of whom will have experience at NCAAs, all of whom have competed and scored at our conference championship. They're going to be a huge part of our success next year. If they can provide the leadership to really bring in the new freshmen and really help the sophomores come into their own, we're going to be very good.
Still one item of business here in 2008-09. Coach, we wish you luck at the Division III Championships next week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Joined now by men's lacrosse coach Gene McCabe. Gene, welcome to the show.
It's great to be here, Jeremy. Thanks for having me.
Your team is coming off a 9-3 win on the road against number 6 Washington College. How important was that victory in terms of its impact on your team?
Well, I think obviously anytime you can go on the road and win, it's big. And anytime you can go on the road and win at Washington College, I think it does a lot for your team's confidence. It does a lot for sort of affirmation for our team, for all the hard work and all the commitment they've put in thus far. So it was a great day, but we all know that that's just one game in a series of many games. So we enjoyed that one for a short while, and now we're moving on to our next challenge.
Great game for Will Keegler with a career-high 5 goals. He and Seth Fishman both have 9 through 4 games, and those certainly aren't the only offensive weapons that you have. How have the Generals been able to be so successful on that end of the field?
Well, I think obviously Will Keegler had a great day with 5 goals, and he did it in a variety of ways too, which was great to see. But a lot of his teammates set him up for those goals. I mean, he certainly created some stuff on his own, but we had some defensive middies and some defensemen to make some great plays that allowed some of those goals to at least be set up. So it was, I'm pleased that we're getting balanced scoring from a lot of people, and not just the first midfield, not even necessarily from the guys you'd expect to be scoring a lot of goals, and Harry and St. John and Tim Skeen. But it's just I'm really pleased with our balance of offense, both with our attackmen and our midfield groups at this point.
You've also won more than 60% of the face-offs so far this year, and the defense is giving up fewer than 5 goals per game. How has Washington and Lee been so effective in midfield and on the defensive end?
Well, I think on the defensive end, it's a credit to 2 things. First of all, I think our coaching staff is doing a great job. I think Coach Archibald has done a tremendous job coordinating our defense. And secondly, I think it just helps to have that year of experience with all of those guys back. I think we showed at times, even in the 08 season, that we are capable of some great defense. But I think a year later, a year more confident, a year more experienced, and having at least those 3 seniors in Locke and Shanahan and Carr and Griffin Beal at the defensive midfield, has really been a catalyst to the success on defense. At the face-off, it's somewhat of the same. I mean, Selden Clark is doing a great job. Kevin Feeney, who's now a junior, went 5 for 5 against Washington College. But we've also put a lot of time into working on the face-offs. I mean, every day for at least 10 minutes has been concentrated on face-off work with those guys, and it's paying off.
Looking down the line, what kind of expectations do you have for the ODAC this year?
It's going to be a knockdown, drag out. I mean, that's for sure. I mean, you look at Roanoke, and as well as they're playing, scoring a lot of goals. Lynchburg doesn't seem to have lost a beat, even though they graduated a lot of guys. And I think you can't count out anybody else in terms of their ability. Hampton Sydney's going to be right there. Virginia Wesley is very tough. Randolph-Macon just beat a ranked team in Denison. So our league is very strong. It's going to be very interesting. I think for us at this point, the focus is 1 game at a time. Use each of these experiences to prepare us and season us for the ODAC play down the stretch. And we're certainly excited about it. We like our chances.
Well, Coach, we thank you for joining us here, and we wish you luck this season.
Thanks very much. It's great to be here.
Joined now by Elizabeth Webb, senior track and field captain from Middleburg, Virginia. Elizabeth, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jeremy.
2 weeks ago, the Generals captured the ODAC Indoor Championship down in Lynchburg. How rewarding was it to win that team title?
It was phenomenal. It was a culmination of 4 years of hard work, and it all paid off that night. Everybody was doubling or tripling in events, which is especially hard for the distance runners and the throwers and sprinters. And it all came together. And we dumped water on Nate Hoey after he received Coach of the Year. And it was one of the most exciting moments I've ever had on the track.
You've had some great experiences, I know, between cross-country and indoor and outdoor track and field, but what has been your favorite individual experience as a Washington and Lee student athlete?
Well, ODAC's is definitely at the top. ODAC's sophomore year is up close, but indoor ODAC's this year, there was just a camaraderie between the team, and it was just a phenomenal experience. Running the 5K with Jessica Shaw, and we were working together every lap, and hearing everybody cheer, because normally the 5K, it's 25 laps, and nobody really watches all that closely, but people were cheering every lap, and it was such a big deal.
You'll be competing at the Indoor Track and Field Championships, Division III National Championships in Indiana this week. What are your expectations for the mile race?
Well, I'm hoping to make it to the finals. I have trials Friday afternoon, and if I'm within the top 10, I'll make the finals. And if I'm in the top 8, I'll be All-American. So I just want to go out and run the best race I can run.
We certainly wish you luck this weekend. How did the Generals sustain the indoor success into the outdoor season this spring?
Hard training and focus. Just a lot of the same things we've been doing, especially keeping everybody healthy. But we have such a great coaching staff that I think we can do it. It'll be the last jewel in that triple crown of cross country, indoor and outdoor that we've never ever done before. So it would be a phenomenal success.
Well, Elizabeth, thank you again for joining us, and once again we wish you good luck in Terre Haute this weekend.
Thank you so much, Jeremy.
2 Washington and Lee seniors will compete at the NCAA Division III Indoor Track and Field Championships in Terre Haute, Indiana this weekend. One of our guests this week, Elizabeth Webb, is running the mile, while Stacy Dornbos qualified in the pentathlon. Women's lacrosse and men's and women's tennis all head to Fredericksburg on Saturday to take on Mary Washington. Baseball hosts a home doubleheader with ODAC rival Lynchburg at noon, and men's lacrosse meets Franklin and Marshall at Wilson Field at 7. For WNL Sports Weekly, I'm Jeremy Franklin. Thanks for watching.